Now, do you guys prefer masculine men or feminine men?
I feel like also saying, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I feel like saying masculine over feminine is like not necessarily the proper term. I like to say
what do you mean?
People that are more human beings, like just like acting like a human, less like a gender role.
That literally made no fucking sense what you just said.
You know, it makes sense in my head, you know? It's like sometimes you meet someone and they're like trying to be like super barley and tough, or they're trying to act like a Barbie, but it's like if you're just like a human being, like for example, men have like a higher suicide rate than like females do.
Just say delete.
Can I not say that?
Just say delete themselves. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
Just go ahead. Go ahead.
But like I don't know, I know like because of gender norms and stuff, like men get very isolated in their emotions and stuff, and I think now that we're in like a more accepting society, because like females have always had outlets, like better socialization, so I feel like it's what you're calling feminine is more just more humanness.
So you're saying masculine men are inhuman and feminine men are human?
No, I would say there are feminine and masculine men, but I would say like
masculinity, masculinity,
trying
femininity.
To say is that men are, since they're more accepted or whatever, they're allowed to be more emotional.
Mm-hmm.
AKA human.
Yes, and I feel like people
that's what she's trying to say.
Yes.
Okay. Fuck it. Okay. But so the question is though, do you prefer masculine men or feminine men? Because just earlier you said you prefer, what is it, girly guy? I forgot what you said. Fruity men. So you prefer, like, if you had a choice between a masculine guy and a more feminine guy, which do you prefer?
Can we just like come back to this?
No, but you almost already answered it.
Like with the fruity boys, it's like it doesn't necessarily mean they're not masculine. It just means they like you know.
They're wearing a dress, and they're talking with a sort of a fet manner, and then
also like pearls look hot on a man. Just saying, like that's a good look.
Wait, girls look hot on a man?
No, pearls.
Pearls?
Yeah, and some people would be like, oh, that's like
earrings?
Feminine. Yeah, like necklaces.
A pearl necklace on a dude?
Yes.
Okay, all right, to each their own, I guess.
Makes them a little more feminine.
Okay.
Masculine.
You prefer masculine then? What about you?
Definitely masculine.
Masculine, yeah.
Masculine with a beard.
100% masculine.
Don't do that. Okay. Madison, what about you?
I said 100% masculine.
Okay. All right. What do you guys, last question on this one, what do you think about masculinity? Good? Neutral? Bad? What do you think about masculinity?
It's good.
Start with you. We'll go around.
You know, you had a very like, yes, this is what I like.
She's speaking to the mic. Go ahead.
I mean, it depends on. I would say I'm not necessarily a fan of masculinity. I feel like, well, like I mean, there's levels of it. Like, I would say in moderation. Is that a good?
Masculinity in moderation.
Yes.
You're not a fan of masculinity. What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, I'm gonna be all barley and stuff, like drinking beers to feel like a man.
Is that
I don't think
is
that's
that what
what
masculinity
masculine
is?
Well, not like necessarily that, but I don't know.
Besides the beer chugging thing, is there any that you?
I don't know. I feel like there's toxic masculinity, and I feel like that's usually when I look at a person, I'm like, okay, that like the masculinity is showing, you know? That's why I'm like in moderation.
Wait, so you're saying when masculinity is apparent or showing, that equals toxic masculinity?
No, it's just sometimes it's like a little excessive, and that's usually when I like notice it.
What is excessive masculinity?
You know, like, can we just like loop around?
No, we got it.
Like,
Keep going. We got you. Keep going.
I don't know. It's just like, you know, like, oh, I need this like big old car. It's like, okay, you're compensating for something.
Compensating for what?
A lot of things, I can tell you that much.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. List it.
I mean, probably like their low self-esteem and maybe their tiny dicks. Can I say that?
Sure.
Okay.
Tiny dicks. So men who want nice cars have tiny dicks? Is
No,
that what
not
you're saying?
necessarily. It's mostly, that's what I mean, like in moderation. It's like everyone wants a nice car, but it's like how you write it, how you do it, you know?
So do women who want nice cars, do they have loose pussies?
No, they got taste. There's
So it's only bad when men, it's only bad if men have a desire for material goods?
No. No. It's like I said, like it's how you write it. So it's like when a man is like trying so hard to seem like a dude, that's like
she's trying to say
excessive.
it's like an ego thing.
Yeah, like it's like ego. It's like it's the same with like the beers. It's like I know a lot of guys
The
that
what?
like
Beers.
beers,
Oh,
like chugging
beers?
beers. Yeah, because like I know a lot of guys that like will drink a lot of beer or will only drink beer around other men because they want to look like a man.
I actually think on the beer thing really quick, not that it's super related to dating, but gentlemen, beer has hops and that will produce, I believe that'll produce estrogen in you, so don't drink beer. If you're going to be a man, I don't drink at all. I don't know, don't drink beer. It has hops in it. I think the byproduct of that will produce estrogen in you. Go ahead.
With
Well, you're saying teeny dicks, toxic masculinity, which by the way, I don't believe there is toxic masculinity.
okay, that's a very hot take.
That there's not toxic masculinity?
Yeah, I feel like most people would 100% disagree with that.
I don't believe that we need to attach gender to toxicity. I think people are just toxic. I don't think we need to is there toxic femininity?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, potentially yes.
Can't you just
Say toxic.
It's just such a loaded word that I feel like you might mean it some way, but people are going to take it in the way that it's just a blanket attack on masculinity.
Can I
Like masculinity is inherently toxic, you know?
Well, it's not inherently toxic. Again.
But when you
it's
say
like-
toxic masculinity, without clarification, I think people are going to assume she means all masculinity is toxic.
Well, I could go into like biopsychology right now and like spew out statistics, but last time that got bleeped, so I'm gonna can I hot potato this? Like you said, you like masculinity.
we can come. Yeah, we'll come back to it. Go ahead.
Yeah, all for masculine men.
Okay. What about you?
Yes, for masculinity, I think that's what's missing in this world right now, and it's much needed.
Okay. Becca? Is that short for Rebecca?
It is.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of masculinity?
I think masculinity needs to be expressed just as much as femininity, and I think masculinity can include the traits that maybe aren't typically associated with masculinity, like vulnerability and emotionality.
Okay,
you know.
we'll come back to the vulnerability topic later. Violet, what about you?
Yes, necessary.
Necessary. Okay.
Yes.
Madison.
I think masculinity is great. I think men were born to be masculine for a reason, but I do feel like the term and the definition masculinity has been so deformed nowadays. Like you were giving out examples, like drinking beer makes a man and things like that. Like that's definitely not what true masculinity means, as in like being a protector, being a provider. So I feel like that really takes away the man in men, which is why it's so like it's not real anymore.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful, Madison. Thank you. Well, I'm definitely concerned about the ongoing feminization of men. There's a blatant attack, I think, on masculinity, and there is a rapid decline in testosterone levels. And I think it definitely serves our government, corporate overlords to have a bunch of weak and feminine men. They're way easier to control. And I do think our environment, it's filled with like estrogenic chemicals, plastics, junk food. We live very sedentary lifestyles. I fall into it too. But I think the media, like in its quest to reshape society, loves to just demonize normal masculine men, labeling them as toxic, as she said, toxic masculinity. And we can certainly have a discussion on that. Let's see. It's I mean, the testosterone level's been declining for decades. I guess they're tracking it somehow. Sperm count and strength in men, like, also decreasing exponentially. And apparently, I think I'm like probably 90% of this next statistic. There's a striking reduction in grip strength among young men. Look at these fucking dainty gamer hands.